Okay, so I'm making this video because changes for stamina and recovery times and out of stamina punishes have changed. For a lot of characters, for example, Raider, I guess one of the big things is he cannot throw sides anymore. All you can get is well, that's not the punish, but all you can get is a storming tap if you're trying to just make it quick. Because of recovery times, you can't do anything after that. He will block it. The other option is you whip a light into top heavy, or whip a light into zone. The difference between the top heavy punish and the zone punish is 2 damage, as you can see on the left hand side of the screen, 30 and 32. The 32 damage is not worth it in my opinion, because when you're fighting like a good player or someone who knows this, you do that into top heavy, you can continue your combo. The punish on you for doing the zone is if you do this into zone. You see how long it takes to recover from you throwing the zone, but they're already standing? That's a guard break vulnerability. They have a free guard break on you. If you throw that zone, you are not allowed to combo. Your combo is stopped by you throwing that zone. Yes, you get an extra 2 damage, but you're also being punished by a vulnerability of guard break. So you throw that zone, they can guard break that. They get up from their, they recover faster now, and this was a thing before the stamina change, so Raiders always had this, it's just people never punish it, but I assume now it'll become a bigger deal. So he throws the zone, and then you can get punished because they will just guard break you afterwards. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. It's an extra 2 damage, it's not worth it. I would prefer to just top heavy, and then continue my combo. Preferably, you don't even want to throw to the side. That is not the correct punish. The correct punish for Raider on a guard break is throw behind him, storming tap into top heavy, and then keep going. Just continue your offense. Continue mixing them up. It's not, in my opinion, this is personally just me. I am a Raider man, but I also don't think going for that zone is worth it. I prefer to just keep going for my offense. I want to continue the offense. Keep trying to mix them up. But to each their own. I don't think going through this zone is worth it because you can't continue your combo and it gives you guard break vulnerability. So I don't think it's worth it. It's an extra 2 damage that you can make up by just throwing a light at the end of the other punish, at the end of the top heavy punish. Because even if they block the light, that's an extra 2 damage. That's the same amount of damage as throwing the zone without the guard break vulnerability. So this is very situational, but I do feel like it's important because this is the biggest punish you can get with Raider. So if your back is to a wall, you just throw them behind you into the wall and you go side heavy into top heavy. If their back is to the wall, you just guard break and do the controlled throw them back into the wall, side heavy into top heavy. You could throw the zone on both of those punishes, but again, that leaves you open to guard break. I don't consider it to be worth it, so you should just do top heavy and then continue your combos. Keep going. So now, out of stamina punishes for Raider with the parries. So I'll just get a parry. You can do light into top heavy. Problem with this is you get less damage on this light than with a storming tap. So if I do the storming tap punish, it's an extra 3 damage. And there's no punish for that. It's not like I'm open to guard break vulnerability like I am with the zone. I'll show you what the zone is like. You just, same thing, into zone. And the problem with this is that it leaves you open to guard break vulnerability. So, personally, in my opinion, it's better to just go into the top heavy. And then just continue your combos. That's honestly just what I think is best. Continue your combos, even if they block the light. That's an extra 2 damage, which puts you just as much damage as with the zone without the guard break vulnerability. So personally, just go top heavy and then just continue your combo. Okay, so for punishes with Zerk, his are very simple, especially compared to Raider. So with guard break, throw in any direction, doesn't matter, dash forward light and side heavy. Throw behind you, dash forward light and side heavy, doesn't matter. And for parries, parry, delay the light into unblockable top heavy. If you do not delay the light and you do it right away, they won't fall. It'll just catch them and they'll stand back up. And the final thing, which is also very situational, like the Raider punish, but it is the biggest punish you can get with Berserker. So I'll throw the bot over here. Alright. So the wall punish, you throw into the wall, dash forward, light into unblockable top heavy. Okay, so punishes with Highlander, his are pretty simple. They're all pretty much the same. It doesn't matter which direction you throw people in, you just throw, light, top heavy. The reason I say top heavy is because side heavies do less damage. So if I do side heavy, it's 29 damage. Bottom left hand of the screen, you can see that the top heavy did 30, the right heavy did 29. So top heavy is that 1 extra damage. And it doesn't matter what direction you throw in, you can throw behind you as well. I messed up the timing on that, but usually it would work. It really doesn't matter which direction you throw. And then when it comes to parries, it's the same punish. I mean, I guess you could go into offensive stance, but I don't really know how punishing that would be. Yeah, you just go into 1 heavy. So you'd be better off just going into the light into top heavy. And then for parries, you just go light into top heavy. That's all of his punishes. There's no wall punish or anything like with Raider and Berserker. Okay, so with Yorm, his punishes are completely changed. He was probably the character that was affected the most by the stamina and recovery changes. So I'll show you the wall punish here. So with wall punish, you just guard break, throw them into the wall, light into unblockable heavy, which throws them into the wall, and then another free heavy. There's a very small parry window, but I don't think anyone's really going to hit it. I think it's extremely hard to parry, even with someone who can react to every single light parry possible. I don't think it's really possible to parry that. There is a small window, so that if someone gets lucky, maybe, but I don't think they'll time it right. It's extremely hard. And then so that's the punish. It's just light into unblockable heavy to the wall, and then free heavy. So let's say he tries to parry, light into unblockable heavy, into delayed slam. So that is parryable. As you can see, that is parryable, but this is max punish. So they can parry that, but because they're still getting up and because of the recovery times, the window for Yorm's hammer slam did not change. So even though they recover faster, the window is still the same for his hammer slam. So you can delay the hammer slam and they can start attacking before they'll start attacking before your hammer slam is initiated. So as soon as you start it, they throw an attack, they hit you, but you have hyper armor on the slam, so then it hits them anyways. Or they can parry it, but most cases people probably aren't going to wait for that hammer slam until people actually catch on to this punish. But I should probably credit, this is Freyr OP's punish. He found this. He's a Yorm main, I believe, and he's the one who found this punish. So light into heavy, into hammer slam. I messed up the punish there, but like you guys get the point. Yorm's punishes are going to take a little bit for everyone to learn. These are kind of weird now. So it's light into heavy, and then it delays the hammer slam, but obviously the bot's going to parry it because it's set to parry. But in most cases, people will probably get hit by that. As for the guard break, this one's really simple. If your opponent has no stamina, and you guard break them, and you're not near a wall, then your punish is just hammer slam. That's it. That's all you're getting. So for a guard break, it's just any direction, slam. That's it. That's all you're getting for that. Yorm's punish for that is relatively simple, and then compared to his wall punish and his parry punish, that's a very simple punish. It's the weakest of all of them, but it's a pretty simple punish. The other punishes are one of the strongest punishes in the game for both of them. So that's it for Yorm. Okay, so for Warlord, his punishes are pretty simple, especially compared to Yorm's. But his is pretty similar to like Highlander. Highlander's is like light into heavy, and his is pretty similar to that. So you throw in any direction, light into heavy. Light can come from any direction, so can the heavy. Doesn't matter which direction you throw the light into heavy from. And then for parries, it is the same thing, light into heavy. And then he does have a wall punish, unlike Highlander. So wall into side heavy, side heavy. Do not throw top heavies because they do less damage. Because it's just like for the guard breaks, he doesn't get side heavies, he gets top heavies. So the top heavies do less damage. So 24 damage for a top heavy. But if I were to just side heavy, 27 damage. There's a 3 damage difference there. So for example, if you throw them into a wall, you don't want to go for the top heavy, you want side heavy into side heavy. The second heavy is the same damage from any direction. It doesn't matter. But side heavy is the first heavy you should be throwing, not the top heavy, because top heavy does 3 less damage. So you would throw into a wall, side heavy, side heavy. That's only in the situation of a wall. Yes, it's situational, but that is the biggest punish you can get with Warlord. And then for parries, I'll show these again. It's just light into heavy. And then for guard breaks, it's just light into heavy. That's it. Alright, so with Valkyrie, her punishes are pretty simple. So for guard break, it's just you throw in any direction, heavy into trip. So the way I did it there was light into heavy, into trip, into heavy. It is important that you go into the light first. So light, heavy, trip, heavy. It's important that you do light, heavy, then trip, because if you do heavy, light, then trip, you do less damage. So I'll show you. So any direction, light, heavy, trip, heavy. So the light into heavy does 12 and then 27, which is 39 damage. If you do heavy into light, it's 24 and then 9, which is 33 damage. So you're doing 6 more damage by doing light into heavy as opposed to heavy into light. So the correct punish is this. Any direction, light, heavy, trip, heavy. That's the punish. That's guard break punish. It is also the same for parry punishes. So light into heavy, into trip, into heavy. Same punish. Same thing. The heavies do not matter either, so you can do side heavies if you want. Same thing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make a difference. When it comes to wall punishes, she doesn't really have one. It's just light into heavy into punch, like trip. You just gotta make sure you don't hit the wall. That's it. Okay, so Shaman, her punishes are pretty simple. So let's say you guard break, you just go into heavy. I messed up the punish there because I always mess up her timings. I don't really play Shaman, but you throw heavy into unblockable left heavy. You have to throw it from the left. That's the only way to get the 30 damage unblockable heavy. Otherwise, from any other light or any other heavy from any other direction, you'll be doing less damage. So you have to go for the left unblockable. Now, let's say, for example, in your guard break, you have applied bleed to them. This does more damage. This attack does more damage, like this punish, and it gives you health back. So you would guard break heavy into. So let's say you have bleed on them, and you guard break. You throw them in any direction. You dodge back, and then do the jump at them. The recovery time was a little weird though because of the bleeding. I'll do it again to show you what it actually looks like. So let's say you have bleed on them. You throw them in any direction. There you go. The reason you dodge back as opposed to just pressing square is because it gives you an extra tick of bleed damage, an extra 4 damage before you get the bite in. If you just go straight for the bite, you're missing out on 4 damage, which is fine. I guess 4 damage is only 4 damage, but I mean, it's completely up to you whether you want to do the dodge back or if you want to just go straight for the bite. So like you can go for the bite right there, and you see how it only takes for 1 bleed damage, like it only did 4 damage. Now it's for the punish I was just saying to do. Throw. I timed it wrong, but I'll show you again. So throw, dodge back, and go for it. That's an extra tick of bleed damage, and then you get the 35. It takes a little bit of practice to get the timing down. I'm not a very good Shaman player, so that's probably why I'm messing up the timings. But that's an extra 4 damage, and it does more damage than your traditional just throw into the heavy. I messed up the timing, but you get the point. It's just heavy into unblockable heavy, it does less damage than the bleed punish I just showed you. And whether you want to do the delayed bite or just go straight for the bite is up to you. It's a 4 damage difference, but in some fights that might be the difference between losing and winning. It's completely up to you. The going straight for the bite, which is 4 less damage, is safer. So it's totally up to you. And then when it comes to parries, very simple. It's just light into side heavy. It's pretty simple. Now let's say you have bleed on them. This is totally up to you. If you go for the parry, you can go straight for the bite, which gives you more damage than just parrying. So like if you parry, you go light into unblockable heavy, that's 40 damage. Now if you let me get away from the corner, that's 40 damage. Now let's say you have bleed on them and you do the parry, you go for the bite, that's more than 40 damage. So it's definitely worth doing the bite, especially if you're lower on health. Her bleed punishes all do more damage than her regular punishes. You're not always going to have bleed when you go for the out of stamina punishes. So I showed both because they're both situational. Generally you can just go for like her regular punish, which is just light into heavy. In most cases it's probably what you're going to get, because not every time are you going to have bleed on them. And then you could get that punish, but not every time are you going to be able to get that punish. So that's it for Vikings. I can show the other samurais and the knights. I can do their punishes. I'll probably have those videos up pretty soon, but for now this is just the Vikings. Thanks for watching.